Today, I'll show you guys how to make your own custom leather face mask. Let's do it. How's it guys? It's Dirty. So I've seen a lot of guys out there making their own fabric face mask, and we have a sewing machine, but it's not really set up to sew like lightweight fabric. It's more for leather and stuff. But I wanted to make a face mask just for fun. Another leather maker that I follow on Instagram made a real simple one, and I thought it was real cool. So, I got on Google, I looked up some different, designs, I guess, and one of my specialties is being able to kind of look at things and kind of figure it out. So I figured out how to make this, and I figured, why not show you guys how to make one too. These aren't made to really filter out anything. They're more for looks. The ones that I did look up, I see a lot of motorcycle riders use it. I'm assuming to, protect their face from like rocks and stuff on the road. But it definitely looks cool. It would definitely help to keep people away from you, I would think. And I mean, for cosplay or I don't know, bedroom play, something a little bit different, get a little freaky if you want. The way I wear mine is I just wear it over a regular mask. Anyways, let me show you how I made these. First off, you're gonna need some kind of pattern. So this was actually the first pattern that I made. You can check it out right here. And basically what I did was I measured my nose, like the length of my nose, and added a little bit to it. And that's basically this measurement. And then I kind of just guessed the rest of it. So you're gonna have to kind of play around when you make your own pattern. What I did was basically just fold the paper in half, full sheet of paper. As you can see, I just picked a piece of scrap paper here. And basically cut out yourself a mask shape. You're gonna have to, let's see how long this whole thing is here. It's about 5 inches right here. So, like I said, what I did, cut it out, and then you can kind of like pinch it together and kind of put it up onto your face. See how it fits. You might have to make some adjustments. So, like I said, I did. This is my second version. It's pretty much the same. All I did was kind of shorten this chin part. It was a little bit too long. I had cut these corners on the first one because I thought it would fit better, but actually it helps to have them a little bit bigger because you want it to be big enough to go basically around your ears, and I got some big ears. So. And of course, like, I made a smaller one for my wife. You can see I made this. This is the one I made for my wife. Got pink stitching, pink edges. Came out really nice. Made this custom color for her, so it came out really dope. And of course, yeah, I made another one for a friend. We made him a belt also that was the same color, chestnut with the black black hardware. It came out really nice, so I figured why not make him a matching face mask. So, and another friend, we made her a bunch of different red and black things, bracelets, all kinds of like dog collars and stuff. So I figured why not make a matching one for her. She's supported us a lot for a while, so I figured while I was making some prototypes, I made one for her too. So it came out pretty cool. Just need to put some elastic on it. Anyways, let's get to showing you how these are made. Alright, for this you're gonna need, like I said, a pattern. You're gonna need some leather. This is 8 to 10 ounce Wicked & Craig English Bridle. It's super nice. Just has an awesome finish, and we really like it. It's an American leather, super nice. Like a scribe, something to scribe your pattern on there. You're gonna need a maul or a hammer, your pricking irons, the thread of your choice, third color. You're gonna need some needles or stitching needles. And like always, I'll put a link for some Amazon things below. I am an Amazon associate, so I do get like kickbacks from anything you do order from any of those links. So if you do, thanks for the support. Right on. You're gonna need a edge beveler, and of course this is not, some of these you don't need, but this is the way that I finish it if you do want to get the same edge and everything like that. A stitch groover. You need some kind of knife. You're also gonna need some hole punches. I have a 1/4 inch one and a 3/16. You also need elastic. It's probably gonna be one of the hardest things to find right now, just because of all the people making masks at home, which is awesome. And depending on how you want to finish the edge, the first mask I made here, all I did was burnish it just so it was nice and smooth, so it didn't, it wasn't rough on your face. But then you still get the color of the flesh part, or the inside of the middle part of the leather. So for the other ones that I did some edge paint. It's what we do to our belts, and I think it comes out really nice. and you can add a little, you know, some color, some flair to it. So if you want to go that route, you're gonna need some edge paint also. If not, you're just gonna need some gum, Tragacanth, or something to burnish the edges, and a burnishing tool. Like I said, I'm just gonna be using the beveler, and I'm gonna paint the edges because I think it comes out a little nicer, and I like that. Since I'm just gonna be keeping this mask, I'm gonna use part of the leather that has a little bit more of the imperfections in it. Actually, it might kind of look cool, more apocalyptic if anything. So all you're gonna do is I'm gonna cut this end off just so it's a little bit easier piece to manage. If you have one, a rotary tool, a rotary cutter is very handy if you're doing leather work. I just got a simple Fiskars one. You can get fancier ones, but this is one I had from some old scrapbooking days, so I just use this one. It works really good. I'm gonna just cut off this excess over here. Alright, now that I have all that cut off, I'm just gonna scribe the pattern onto this piece. So as you can see, I use this awl or scratch awl to just scratch the pattern on there. If, like I said, I just use plain paper. After you have made like a design that you want, you probably want to make this out of something a little bit thicker. It makes it a little bit easier to scribe that pattern on there. Alright, let's cut this out. Alright, so now I got my basic mask. So as you can see, these pieces are going to go together. And like I said, since the leather was already rolled up, it kind of already has a nice little curve to it. Of course, you can, you know, work yours to have a curve in it if you do have a flat piece. I believe you can kind of tell that these ones are a little bit flatter, that it's kind of not as curved in, but like I said, you work them a little bit and you know, they'll stay curved. Alright, oh, you know what, I forgot one tool that comes in handy. This is a groover, groove cutter. Not really sure what the exact name is, but we're gonna actually put a groove right in the back of here so that it helps fold a little bit better. So the way you do that is it helps have a little straight edge, and then you get this tool and you want to kind of just like line it up so that your groove is going to be right in the middle of the mask. So as you can see, it just kind of gouged a little groove out of there. So now the mask will fold a lot better and give you that nice, you know, bend. Next, I'm gonna scribe all the holes for where the elastic's gonna go and for all of the breathing holes, I guess, if you will. And I'm just using this to use as like a little circle scribe. It's actually it's a hand sanitizer that we make, but anyways. And for the breathing holes, I'm gonna just it's another template that we use for making belts, and I just really like the spacing right here, so I use it just to kind of help line up all the holes. For you, you're just gonna have to either measure it or do whatever. You can just punch them all random, whatever. Alright, so that's the most tedious part. Kind of takes a little while. Next, I'm going to put my groove for stitching. Just want to set this on whatever distance you have. I believe this is at 1/8 right now. So I'm just going to put this so I know. So I keep all my stitching a little bit straighter. Alright, so you can see there, it just makes a little groove, little line for me to follow. Now I'm gonna bevel all these edges, just makes it a lot smoother. And again, this isn't something you need to do, it makes the mask a lot nicer, more comfortable. I'm only gonna do these outside ones. I'm gonna bevel these ones, but I'll show you how I do it after to kind of make it line up nicely. Alright, now you can see the edges are rounded. Like I said, it's not necessary, but it does make it a lot nicer. I think it's more comfortable. Next, we're going to punch all our holes. Alright, now that we have all the holes punched, we're almost ready to start stitching. But what I do is bevel this edge so that it fits together better. Because if you see right now, say if we were to fit these together, you'd get this big gap. So to make that a little bit nicer, what I'm going to do is, like I said, you want to make sure your knife is nice and sharp, but you're going to just cut this. So what I do is basically, I'm cutting it right below the top, and then what you do is cut right to the edge of the stitching, so that way inside the edges will meet together and the front it'll just have a nicer finish. As you can see, that way it'll close it up nicely. So usually what I do is kind of start right here in the middle and just kind of, because you want a little extra room over here too, because you don't want it to be kind of bunched up over there. Let's see, sorry, it's awkward to do on camera. So as you can see, just kind of cut that edge so that way when we do put it together, it'll just line up a little nicer. I'm gonna do the rest of these edges and I'll show you the finished result. So I beveled that edge, like I said. It was a little bit hard to do on camera to make it, you know, to get it nice. But basically what I do is put it right at the edge of the table so I have like a little base behind it, and then like I said, just cut it from right where the color starts coming in onto the leather to where your stitching comes in. So as you can see, that way when you join these together and stitch it, it'll be nice. It'll have that nice finished look to it. Alright, now I'm gonna stitch this together. I think I use about 2 feet of thread. It's actually more than enough, but I'm not a pro at this. My wife actually taught me this, but you just thread the wax thread through there. And you're gonna pull some of it out, and then what you do is actually stick it through the thread. Okay. And then you stick it through again. Like that. And you slide it down and slide it over. And like I said, I'm no pro at that, so if you are a pro and you're like, "Bri, you're doing it wrong," let me know. Alright, there we go. I usually try to do the bottom first, just because it's kind of practice and it's, you know, the nose is a little bit more visible. So I like to do that first just so I can kind of get a good stitch going, and then I'll do the top next. So what you do is just, it's almost like tying a shoe or threading putting the shoelaces in a shoe. Just gonna stick it right across there, and then you're gonna come back up through the opposite side. So I put the right thread back through the left side, the left thread back through the right side, so that you can get them popping out there. Okay. And you're always going to want to kind of just like in between, kind of tighten it up. It's going to be kind of funny at first, but once you get it going, it kind of comes together a little bit better. And then you're going to go across. Like I said, you can kind of put it together and then pull it tighter. And then you're gonna do the same thing so you can get it to come out the opposite hole. So you go across with the right thread, go to the left hole. And the left thread go to the right hole. And there you go, and you get that nice little X cross stitch there. And then you repeat that all the way down. And then I'll show you what to do at the end. Do this real quick. Right, now I'm at the bottom stitch, and what I'm going to do is basically kind of finish it how I started it. Go back up through the holes on the opposite side, so we got right thread going up through the left hole, and then since you're doing it, just put it back through that there, so you get it back down on the bottom. Same thing with your other thread. Back through. Okay, make sure those are nice and tight. And then I just do a fancy square knot. So if this is the incorrect knot and you guys are like, bro, you should be doing a Prusik with a figure 8 or some, you know, some fancy stuff, let me know. I am actually a Boy Scout, but I was only like tenderfoot or something. I basically only did it because I like the outdoors. So all right, here we go. So I just trimmed off the edges after that, and then what you want to do is just get a lighter and finish those ends, just kind of burn them down. There you go. As you can see, because the stitching, I think it kind of pulls it one way. You're gonna get one of these edges a little bit off, or so far almost every one that I've made has done that. I'm just gonna trim it and then kind of make it so it's nice and flush. All right, so now we just gotta finish this top one. I'm actually gonna go sit down and do it because my back's killing me leaning over this table doing this stitching. So I'm gonna stitch this up and I'll be right back. All right, so just finish that one up too. On that side. All right, so basically most of the mask is done already. You can see it kind of has a form to it already. Like I said, it helps that the leather was rolled, so it kind of already has that shape to it. And then that crease that we put in the middle really kind of makes it, you know, have a nice edge on it. So, and you can see inside the stitching lines up nicely because we did that little bevel on it. So all that's left is I'm gonna clean up this little edge right here. This one actually lined up really nicely. Leave that one. Then I'm gonna do some edge paint. So I'm gonna do a primer first, let that dry, sand it, and then do 2 coats of black, and it'll be ready to go. Right now, so I'm gonna finish these edges. Be using some leather edge paint. I'm gonna be using this little hand roller to apply it. And this primer is super thick. It's really good because it kind of fills in all the gaps. It gives you a nice little base coat, and then you can sand it down and make all the edges real nice too. So. All right, now I just gotta let this dry, sand it. I can put some coats of black on there. Let me eat some lunch. All right, so I sanded all the edges, and like I said, you want to really focus on these inside edges that are going to be touching your face, so it's nice and comfortable. And next, I'm just going to put a coat of black on here too. So do that. All right, so I got a coat of black on there. It's looking good. I just gotta let this dry. I'm gonna sand it again, put another coat of black, and it'll be all done. I have a finished mask. All right, you can see the finished product here. I got some elastic on it. And I like to do the one that goes around your neck and the back of your head because a lot of people, it bothers their ears. So just did that one instead. If you don't mind, or if you don't have as much elastic, you could do the one that goes around your ears. But this mask kind of fits a little bit different than a regular cloth mask, so I think the around the head works a little bit better. But like I said, definitely looks pretty cool. If you ride a motorcycle, it might come in handy after all this coronavirus stuff, but or even for like Halloween or something. It's pretty cool looking. Anyways, I hope you guys having a good week, staying safe, staying masked up. Hope this helped you guys. This is Dirty Shoots.